That was funny. We didn't have music. We don't even have video right now.
We don't have anything.
We don't have anything. It's Friday. What's going on? It's Friday.
It's Friday.
And I don't know how to do things.
The show's called Jon Does.
I know, but I
don't do anything.
No, I've done a lot of things, but I forgot how to do everything. Oh, man, this has been fun. Yeah, there was like just a minute of no music. That was great. I'm sure everybody was super appreciative of that.
People were on the edge of their seat.
Yeah, well, they're always on the edge of their seat watching Jon Does, aren't they?
They are.
Because you never know what Pat's going to say next. Yo, what's up, Chris? Sorry about the no music there for a second. I don't know if you were there for that. But, hey, before we get started, you know what I like to tell y'all. Go check out wilddinosaur.com. It's the best place to support the channel. We got all kinds of cool stuff there. There's some stuff to look at here. That's the website. That's what the website looks like. Here's the store. There's like kids merch, socks. There's some, I definitely fit that toddler's too.
Yeah, it'd be like a glove.
No, but there's also all kinds of cool designs there. Some, what are those? Racerback tanks is what they're called.
Baseball t-shirts.
Some baseball tees. And I got mugs now.
Look at those mugs.
There's
look at that pirate mug right there. I still need to get
great.
that.
And then some framed prints. Pat got one of those. Pat got the new pants one.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. It looks even better in person.
And then there's all this,
to that.
all these sweaters and sweatshirts and tote bags and stuff like that. So yeah, check out wilddinosaur.com. Support the channel. Help me, keep doing stuff.
You need to tote a toddler around. You can use a tote bag, and also that toddler can be clothed in one of your Wild Dinosaur.
I bought all of those models. I own them. I own their likeness.
Yes. Yeah, it was difficult getting all those models coordinated and everything to take the photos.
Yeah, it was really difficult to get all those models from LA here and to shoot in my bathroom.
Yeah.
You
had to make some empty promises it was almost a Firefest type situation.
All of those were shot in the shower. Brother had sex with. Okay, what?
This is a pretty good story.
Oh, I think YouTube's censoring you. Oh, YouTube.
Well, it still shows up because it went through.
Unless there's a lag, because this has happened before.
Well, it's still on the video, though.
No, so. I know, but I've seen this happen a couple of times.
Yeah, they are censoring, though.
Yeah, Nazis.
Half of Chris's messages don't get through the censor.
It's my man, my NSA homie that is like responsible for monitoring me at all times. What's up, Travis? How's it going? Thanks for helping me on those script ideas the other night. I do that sometimes. I just use my NSA supervisor. I'm not in the NSA. I'm just a natural American citizen.
He goes by the name of ChatGPT.
No, I'll sit there and I'll just I'll turn on all the microphones that I have in my room and just start talking out loud. And then sometimes I get a little like, that script sucks.
Hey, it's always nice to have feedback.
Because they're not supposed to respond to you, but like Travis and I have a thing. There used to be another guy, but he left the agency. Yeah, he went to go run a couple of franchises.
Randy's Donuts, I'm guessing.
There's a GameStop franchise, and Randy's Donuts for sure. A Bob's Big Boy.
Bob's Big Boy wasn't the main attraction was that giant.
The giant
statue, right?
Yeah,
the giant boy.
Yeah,
that was the whole thing. Like we have, I think from what I remember, it was like a pretty generic burger.
I mean, I think I remember there one being here when I grew up. I don't.
Somewhere in the county?
No, here.
Oh, in town.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might be wrong on that. I think it was over by where the like Mini Cooper dealership is. It's just
I think there was an Arby's over there.
There's a Mini Cooper dealership here.
I think there used to be an Arby's.
Yeah, there was. That was over by where the Habit's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So
more undepressing matters.
On to more important things. What have we been doing this week?
We went to a show. We went to a concert.
Yeah. How did I not even think about talking about this? I just got my hearing back.
Huh?
Huh?
What'd you say?
No, Pat and I drove to Hollywood.
Hollywood.
We went to the Hollywood Palladium for this.
Hollywood.
Hollywood, yeah, as my directions were saying. Get off at Hollywood. Hollywood. We went to the Hollywood Palladium, which the last concert we went to, the Mars Volta, was also at the Hollywood Palladium.
Yeah, it's a nice venue. It's big.
It is a nice venue. I like it, and I especially liked this time being upstairs.
Yeah, it was nice being up in the balcony because there were multiple mosh pits at this show.
It was pretty crowded. I would say it was more crowded than the Mars Volta show.
I would agree. Yeah, it seemed like pretty much the entire floor was filled up.
Yeah, it seemed like it. There might have been small patches.
It might have been a little bit of open space just toward the back, like where you walk in from that bar
by the sound booths.
Yeah. But in general, it was pretty, and it's also an incredibly aggressive act. Death Grips.
Yeah, we went and saw Death Grips. It was great. It was quite badass, to be honest. Pat's seen them before. You saw them at a festival, right?
I did, at the FYF, the Fuck Yeah Fest, back in 2015. At
what do you remember about that show? About them at that show?
More or less the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the same kind of. Their set list, of course, might have been a little bit different, but
sure.
Yeah, the attitude and the show was roughly the same. You got Zach Hill just banging on drums the entire time. That dude is incredible. Honestly, I didn't see if he was. We were also kind of far away, but I didn't notice that if he was wearing like an in-ear monitor or not.
Oh yeah, I don't know what his deal is with that. I would imagine he does, but
I don't even think he's playing to a click.
Yes,
I think he's just crushing it the entire time.
So Chris, yes to both of those questions. I smoked a joint and ate some gummies, and yes, they did perform Guillotine. It was awesome. They basically played like almost all my favorite songs.
Yeah, they played all all of their top tracks.
What did they start with? It was
I can't remember what they started with, but then the second track was I've Seen Footage.
Yeah, I've Seen Footage, and then Spread Eagle, Across the Block. What else was there? Jenny Death.
Yeah,
they played Jenny Death.
Yeah, they did. Sorry.
I think that's the name of that track.
It is. And then, of course, they did, like, Get Got.
Oh, yeah, Get Got.
Hacker.
Yeah, Hacker. That was the end. That's probably, like, my favorite Death Grip track. And they ended with that one, and it was great. It was super awesome.
Yeah, I remember as soon as, like, the beat kicked in as soon as that sample kicked in for I've Seen Footage, like, the crowd just went nuts, and it was an awesome feeling for me. You know, sometimes you get that feeling when you're, like, you're watching one of your music group that you really love doing a song that you really like too. And,
yeah.
And everybody else is into it as well. There's really something special about that feeling.
Yeah, it was really great. And I don't know, I felt like when we saw Mars Volta, not to say that there weren't younger people there or anything like that, but everybody was about our age.
Yeah.
Maybe
I would agree with that.
a slightly bit older, slightly bit younger for the most part. But this one, there was like, I don't know, it felt like there was, I swear, we were up high. I didn't mention this before. I think you like this. When we were, so we were up on the balcony, and we were looking down, and I swear to God, there was a kid that looked like he was like 12 years old, and he looked like he was trying to be like Phase One Eminem. Like, he had big baggy pants on, and like a tank top. And it was like tucked in, and then he had like bleached blonde spiked hair, and I was just like, what year is this?
I mean, that's just how it goes.
I feel like I'm still in high school. Oh, me not knowing what age you guys are? Well, I'm a million. I'm a dinosaur, so I've lived through lots of ages. Pat, how old are you? You can lie or you can tell the truth.
I don't mind telling the truth. Yeah, I'm almost 37. Be 37 next month.
Yeah. And I'm 30. I'm going to be 39 in September. Is that right? Yeah,
That's right.
That's right. I'm like I said, I'm a million years old. I've been saying I'm almost 40 for like 5 years.
I would say that at the Death Grip show, the majority of the crowd looked like they were in their 20s. Like, it was spread out, but I would say most of them looked like they were in their 20s. Some kids look even younger, honestly, and it was all ages, so they could have been.
I mean, they're such a great band. I'm not surprised that people are still like super into them. I was just kind of surprised, just because it feels like so long ago is when I found I heard them for the first time. I was like, what the fuck is this?
So I'm not sure who you're referring to, but thank you either way.
Probably Project Pat. Oh yeah, I forgot. Did you send him? Did you send him music?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were still looking for that music, some of that Runway track, right? I gotta get all sexy with it.
if it'll help sell the music, I'll do a little Vogue to it.
I still need some time to sexify it.
Sexify it?
Yeah.
He's trying to have sex with some WAV files.
That's right. Print them out.
Print them out.
Just like the waveform.
Attach it to the end of a fleshlight.
You have like the waveform covering,
you started whispering all of a sudden. Yeah, I'm like, dude, we're on YouTube right now, my man.
Yeah, I don't know why I was whispering, but I was just saying, like, if you, print out like the waveform and then have it like wrap around something, that could potentially be a way, theoretically. I'm not saying I'm going to do anything like that.
Oh, he said he's got to give you some references. Well, yeah. What kind of references are you looking for? You looking for some Grace Jones?
Looking for some professional references.
Some professional wrestling. Oh, you didn't know?
Yes.
Your ass better call somebody.
Your ass better call somebody.
I'll tell you what. The first time there's a Wild Dinosaur fashion show, and I get a bunch of models to walk the runway in my gear. That's the music that's going to be playing for sure.
It's just you off to the side of a guitar with a guitar, like playing the riff too.
Back in the day, I was really into wrestling back in junior high. Like this was that definitely the Attitude Era of wrestling, and I was super into it. And my friends and I were doing like a tiny bit of backyard wrestling. It was like we were on the borderline of like it being like fun, fake, like couch pillow wrestling to like starting to get into backyard wrestling stuff. Yeah. And it didn't go much further than that. But I had a bunch of CDs. There was like 2 or 3 of them that they released that were all of the wrestlers' theme musics from WWE.
That's badass.
It was badass. So I had like I think there was like 2 versions of Stone Cold's, because they had a Stone Cold track on one and then a different one on a different CD. But yeah, I remember X-Pac was like my favorite for some reason. I don't even remember what it sounded like, but I was super into that.
I can't recall either. I remember just like the D-Generation X. They had their own
Degeneration.
Yeah. It was like a Limp Bizkit.
It was like a rip-off Rage Against the Machine Limp Bizkit thing.
Yeah. But a lot of it was like that rap rock. A lot of the wrestlers' themes.
So did you see that?
Some sexy Balenciaga shit.
Okay.
I'll get on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably seen them, Chris, but the Balenciaga parody videos on YouTube. You could do something like that. That kind of music. They all have the same theme where it'll just be like, like Marvel character, the MCU by Balenciaga, and then it'll be like some weird AI generated photos of like Captain America, but even more somehow even more chiseled jaw and everything.
It's like a Rob
like
Liefeld.
Some ridiculous high fashion looks.
My shoulder's itchy. I feel like a dog right now. I'm like, I got the spot, and my leg's like. Ugh.
Would you rather be known as the guy who shot Kennedy or the guy who shot Tupac? That's a good question.
That is a good question. Probably Kennedy, because if people would start saying it was a race thing if we shot Tupac.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want to shoot Tupac either.
Yeah,
I like Tupac.
I mean, honestly, I don't want to shoot anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I want to do? Hugs plus drugs.
If I had to shoot one of them, though, I'd probably pick Kennedy.
Why? Because he was Irish Catholic? You're such an asshole.
Nah, nothing like that.
Yeah, nothing like that?
Nothing like that.
Nothing like that? What's your beef with Kennedy?
I mean, not a whole lot. More just jealousy. He's got better head of hair.
Jackie O was in love with me, and he stole her away.
That's right. She wasn't Jackie O, though, back then.
Jackie O'Reilly. Watch I get claimed for that.
Doing on-air jingles now. That's just free publicity. You know, if O'Reilly Auto Parts would like to sponsor this show.
No, I'm not trying to promote O'Reilly Auto Parts. I'm trying to promote Bill O'Reilly.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, that guy's my dad.
Kennedy deserved it because he said he would serve 2 terms, but he only did 1.
That's fucking hilarious.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's so dumb. I love it.
There was a lot of shit going on in the Kennedy White House, though. I got to give him some props. You know, if we ever had a president that was like openly doing drugs in the White House, it probably was Kennedy.
I would imagine probably every single one of them has done some sort of drug in the White House, because why not?
Oh, well, also, if you include like pharmaceuticals and stuff, then sure.
No, I mean like some crazy shit. Like, I don't know.
Crazy shit, man, crazy shit. Yeah, like what were you? What would you imagine?
Oh, I don't know.
Like let's say historically.
Oh.
Like we can go back in history.
Oh,
too.
no, we didn't need to go that far. Like Ronald and Nancy Reagan, probably doing some like kinky shit with some like poppers. They're like,
probably some MDMA too.
They're like, the Studio 54 culture is killing America, but that's where we get all of our drugs from. They're just like catering to the base.
Exactly. But if it's crack, no. Cocaine's fine. We'll give you like a slap on the wrist for cocaine.
Cocaine arguably was really great for the Reagan administration.
But if it's crack, if there's any sort of base involved, forget it. You're going to prison for life, brother. I'm sorry. This is just how it was. Oh, Bill Clinton probably did all the drugs.
Oh yeah. He smoked like an ounce of weed out of his saxophone. Just a big old like.
I like Chris's comment here too. Probably got off that Hillary Bush, whiff of that cheddar. That's like smelling salts.
Yeah, but that cheddar has a law degree.
Okay.
Well, so I mean, Bill could have lost his whole career, and Hillary would have just like kept him afloat, and he could have just been like Bill Clinton could have ended up just being like a gamer, I
mean, if he was coming to prominence today, he probably would be a streamer.
He should start a Twitch stream where he just plays like, I don't know, Tears of the Kingdom.
That would be incredible.
Bill Clinton, if you're listening, we implore you to start a Twitch channel and start gaming.
Yeah,
we need this.
Get a Nintendo Switch.
You know what will solve, like world hunger, world peace, global warming, all of that, is you getting on Twitch. That's gonna solve everything. And you can get in debates with like, you know, like trolls on the internet, and you can become like a top debate lord. You know, an enemy of the gripers.
Could you imagine how popular you would be? And Twitch would get a huge amount of traffic just from that.
I mean, I know AOC.
No, right, she did that like charity stream or something.
She streams every once in a while.
Yeah.
I remember there was something where like she had, I think she had like a back and forth with Hassan. At one point, I said that all funny. Hassan. But yeah, I've seen some of the, she was like streaming Minecraft for a little bit too. I've seen her do that.
Yeah, I think that the famous clip was of her playing what's that? Among Us.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah, politicians should definitely be streaming more. I would say that is necessary. Like Dianne Feinstein.
Oh
you
boy,
you want
to go there.
You want to reactivate, like get your base back up, get your base involved. Twitch streaming.
Her base, Dianne Feinstein's base, is like on life support right now.
Yeah,
she needs to step down. I'm sorry to talk politics.
Yeah, we don't usually, but
we don't. I mean, it's kind of hard sometimes to avoid it, just because some of it. I mean, it's starting to God damn, I can't talk right now. Seep into like so many other facets of our culture now that like it's hard to avoid.
Well, just with how connected everything is.
She's OnlyFans.
Dianne Feinstein.
Oh my god,
that's disgusting.
That's.
All right, but we have some stuff to talk about, actually, don't we?
Did we?
Some movie stuff, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't have notes. I stopped doing notes for these shows for whatever reason, because why not? They're more silly. We like the goofs, the gaffs, the
bips and bops.
The bips and bops.
Yeah.
Hey Nick, my bips and bops.
Oh jeez.
Oh boy, I'm not gonna repeat that. It's there for all to see. There's some movie stuff.
So it's a movie that you were pretty excited for. So excited that you made me watch a trailer right the day that you saw it.
Yeah, I made you watch it in the car on my phone as we were going to get food, and that was The Creator. The Creator looks pretty fucking awesome. It is gonna be, I think is it Gareth Edwards?
Yes, directed by Gareth Edwards
did
of Rogue One.
And what else? He did that Godzilla reboot. 2013, 14, something like that. I don't know.
A lot of people like that Godzilla movie. I think there was a sequel to that too, that Godzilla versus Kong.
Huh?
There was like a Godzilla versus Kong
it was
sequel.
He did the first part.
Yeah. The one with Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, it looks really great. It's got John David Washington. Wait, man, I'm like the third nuke. Feel bad. It's all good. I mean, I am not seeing anything. I'm not getting any sort of whatever. I mean, look, I think I like your jokes. I think they're funny. There is a line. I do have a line. You haven't hit it yet, though. It's okay. Don't feel bad.
Kong will never beat Godzilla. I would have to agree with that. Godzilla's got the flames.
Yeah, he shoots.
Yeah.
Wait, I think I'm thinking Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, Mechagodzilla shoots lasers out of his eyes.
Out of his fucking head. I'm using a new lens, by the way. Well, it's an old lens, but I got it back.
What else?
Kent Watanabe's in it. It looks great. Yeah,
got some AI stuff.
It's called The Creator, and it's about like what if AI came and I'm kind of confused though, because it's like what if AI rose up, but then there's like Then they're protecting an AI kid.
But then they also say that the AI detonated a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
In Los Angeles.
It was on my YouTube stream.
But yes, the creator looks awesome. And I've been watching Silo on Apple TV Plus.
I remember when I was a kid, I watched Godzilla Marathon and cried when I found out Godzilla was a girl. I don't know why.
I didn't even know that.
I cried when I found out Samus. Is it Samus?
Samus.
Samus was a girl. I didn't cry. I didn't care, actually.
Yeah, remember that was a big deal, right? That was in like Metroid 2 or some shit? Or Super Metroid?
I mean, honestly, I was not that attached to that franchise in general, so I just didn't give a shit. I just was I was surprised because, like, you know, she's always got a helmet on. And I was just like, oh, okay, that's what's under there. That sounded worse than I intended it to. Oh, that's what she said. That doesn't work here.
Figuring out Captain Falcon is a Christian. Yeah, we never knew. But yeah, he's pretty devout. I've heard he attends Mass every Sunday.
Captain Falcon?
Yeah, he's from F-Zero.
Oh, yeah.
But he's also from Smash Brothers.
Gotcha. Yeah, I wasn't.
I know. Jon is a very big Smash Brothers fan.
Yeah, I'm just I was gonna drop never mind. I'm gonna drop a harsh word, but it was gonna be about myself. I'm a dumbass and I'm slow and I can't keep up with like a lot of shit going on screen. That's why I like open world games. I can just run around and hunt and like gather stuff, which is why I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom for like a week straight. But yeah,
does it give you like a progress percentage or anything in that game?
Not the hard R. I mean, there was a debate on what the hard R meant, and I thought the hard R meant something different for a while, but I thought it meant something related to people with mental disabilities.
Such as yourself?
Yes, such as myself.
I just had to throw that in there.
But most people, apparently, the hard R is the N-word.
Yes.
That's
know.
Weird to me.
I also, it's just because it's at the end, so you don't.
Yeah, and also it's already called the N-word. Like, that we already have a thing for it, not the hard R. I don't know. I think everybody got the picture when you said N-word. What do you think's better, though? Like, just N-word or hard R?
What do I think's better?
Well,
like more descriptive.
Well, more descriptive and, like, more to the point.
Yeah, N-word.
Because, yeah, okay. That's how I feel about it, too. But, whatever. This Zoom generation and their lingo.
And their baggy pants.
Yeah, their Jinko jeans. And their...
Man. You know, though...
And their puka shell necklaces.
All of fashion cycles are always like every 20 years something will come back into style. So now,
yeah.
Now we're rocking the early 2000s look.
Well, it's funny because this whole like fashion trend every 10-year thing really started in like the 50s.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Sure.
Before then, everything was in black and white, and everyone wore just like cowboy outfits. You know, that's Western wear.
You saw it was actually like more
that's what everybody wore
in the 40s. There were like fat people wore the wider ties.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been in the 50s too, and then they like went to the really thin ties, and then
makes them look slimmer.
And then back to the wider ties of the 70s.
I also still wear cowboy outfits, but mostly just chaps. That's it. Chaps, cowboy hat, nothing else. Oh, boots, and maybe a like a bandolero.
Maybe some spurs on those boots.
Yeah, spurs on the boots for sure. I don't need jeans though. Who needs jeans when you got chaps, right?
Right.
I was gonna look like an oil tycoon.
That's a great look. Rock that 10-gallon hat. I love that Always Sunny episode where they're going door to door trying to
Just
sell gas.
Yeah.
And Charlie's
the gang solves the gas crisis.
Yes.
Yeah, that one's great. That show is great.
It has that Ghostbusters reference in it.
I need to rewatch the last like handful of seasons because I watched, I don't know, probably the first like 8 seasons like at least a couple of times. I was a big fan. Not that I'm not. I just like kind of fell off a little bit.
The first few
I think
seasons,
I've seen every episode, but I like some of the later seasons I haven't seen like, you know, more than one time.
Yeah, same here. I've only seen I'm sure there are so many episodes I haven't seen at all. But I'm sure enjoy watching those.
Get on it, Pat. What's your fucking problem? Oh, I didn't watch this show. Why? Oh, I was at work. Why didn't you watch this show? I was sleeping. Oh, why aren't you at the show? I was taking a dump. What do you want from me? I'm trying to live my life here.
Please. Yeah, but you're not wrong.
No, it's just I think that's funny because I remember working at Half Price Books at Berkeley, and I've told you this story before, but I think it's important story to tell on air. And I was at the bag check at the front of the store, and the bag check was also kind of like the information booth, so you could go ask questions. Yeah. So I was back there. Unfortunately, we didn't have an inventory at the time. By the end of me working there, we had a digitized inventory, but I couldn't look up to see what we had. Our only way to find out if we had something was to look up where it might be, like what section it might be on like Amazon. We'd just pull up Amazon and see like where they would have it stored and be like, you can go check that section over there. And that's basically how the store worked. It was great. But one
seems so half-assed.
But one day these two ladies come in. One was older. She was probably late 70s, 80s. And then there was she was younger. It was her daughter, but she was probably like 50 or so. And they came in and they were asking me for this like one author, and I was like, I've never heard of this person before, and they were just like, you know, I was really doing my best to like try to figure out who they were and what was going on, and they were just like giving me a bunch of shit. They're like, I can't believe you don't know who this person is, and first of all, I'm like, I run the DVD department now because that's what I did there.
You're like, you want to talk about some cartoons?
Yeah, I know, like. The MCU was just starting, but I was like, what do you want to know about Thanos? I'm just kidding.
Like, we have this comic section right over here.
Yeah. And some records. You want me to tell you about Joni Mitchell? No, but they were looking for this author, and I learned 2 things. First of all, this author turned out to be like highly anti-Semitic, and there's a reason why I'd never heard of them before, because I'm like not a dick. But the other thing was like, it's so difficult these days, and I hate it when people get like, I can't believe you haven't heard of this band, or I can't believe you haven't seen this movie or this show, and it's like, oh my God. There are literally like billions of books and movies and like bands out there these days. It's so accessible to make all of these things that there's so much content out there. Like, no person can literally keep up with everything.
Oh, absolutely. Especially these days.
It's crazy.
I was just looking at the chat here, and Chris is saying it was H.P. Lovecraft, the author.
It was Jordan Peterson.
It was actually Kanye West. You were saying that it was anti-Semitic.
It was H.P. Peterson.
Horton Peterson.
Horton Peterson. Jorge Peterson.
With an H?
Mm-hmm.
H-O-R-H-A-Y.
Yeah. Oh, that's so stupid.
Yeah, so I've been watching that Silo show.
Yeah, how's that?
It's pretty good. It's a little, I don't know.
It's
a little slow, honestly.
It's like
so. It's like a dystopian world where everybody lives in this like one contained area, thus the silo name.
Okay, so like this is already the premise of like 5 CW shows.
It's been done before, but I think it's a book series based on a book series. So like the richer people live near the top, and the poor people live down below, which I feel like has also been done
many times.
But
poor people always go in a specific section.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Okay.
And she is like she was like born to a doctor and kind of like left home and went down to work in like the machine.
She's the one in
area.
Dune, right?
Yeah, she's the one in the mom in Dune.
Yeah,
Timothy Chalamet.
I like her.
Chalamet's mom. Even though they're like 10 years apart in age.
Yeah. Oh, and she was in that Dead Reckoning, the Mission Impossible trailer.
Oh, nice. Yeah. But I've been enjoying it so far. It's kind of weird. And then like there's an outside that everybody can see, and when people if people like want to leave the silo, they're welcome to do so, but they have to like make this big production out of it where they say, I want to go outside, and then they send them out to clean, supposedly. So they go out because their little like window gets murky, so they go out and they like clean it, and then I don't want to give too much away, but it doesn't usually end well.
Telling the story like you're about to get into the whole narrative right there.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much.
So basically, it turns out that they all are living in the Bass Pro Shop headquarters building, the Pyramid in Tennessee. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, go look it up.
I mean, that's where I would want to live.
Oh, there's a new chat here. A college course maybe do an essay on Silo. I'm just bullshit.
That's what Wikipedia was made for, but now kids have it so easy they can just chat GPT it.
Yeah, bullshit. Such losers.
Well, all you have to do is just use chat GPT and then just rewrite it, like just reword it.
I wrote the script to today's episode on chat.
Wow, didn't do the best job then.
No, I mean, that should be an indicator that
AI just isn't here.
That pay writers what they're worth.
Yep.
Hollywood.
That's right.
That's all interesting too. The whole strike that's going on.
That is interesting. We can't be replaced.
They can't. They shouldn't be.
Yeah, I don't think that. Well, I mean, honestly, that type of AI and stuff is just based on everything that humans have written anyway.
Yeah,
that's all it's doing. It just compiles stuff. So
it's just plagiarism.
Yeah, it is. Really, it's just retaking stuff from other authors and.
Yeah, well, that is part of the defense against AI with their demands. I mean, there's a large conversation going on with all of it, and I think AI is a problem for the DGA a little bit, and also SAG. And I'm starting to think that I initially said that this probably wasn't going to last very long, and I think it's probably going to last a little longer than I expected. But I like at least Labor Day. I think it's going to go that long. And
Labor Day is in September.
Yeah.
It's going to go that long?
I think so. The entire industry is united against the corporate part of the industry, basically. All of the unions are like solidified, and that didn't happen before. So there's gonna be a little bit of a fight, which I think everybody deserves to be paid more. I have a personal stake in that for sure. But it's not all progress is good. What do you mean by that?
I think on the subject of AI.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I agree with that. There's two ways I think about AI, and some of it is, I think, beneficial, and some of it is harmful. And I'll kind of get into the gist of what I think about it. I think AI can be really good as a tool for like up and coming artists trying to accomplish something that they couldn't have done before. For example, if you're trying to make a movie and you're like, I need to storyboard something, it costs money to pay for storyboarding software, or to pay somebody to do it. But if you could explain the shot you're looking for into an AI, and you could storyboard your shot through AI images and basically have your storyboard out that way, that cuts a cost for you when you're an up and comer. I think that should only stay at that level, though.
Yeah. We don't want
like Disney shouldn't be doing that. And you know, the end of The Mandalorian, my brother hadn't watched it. He was in town, and he hadn't finished it, so we watched the last episode of the last season. And one of the best parts about The Mandalorian is at the end of each episode during the credits, they show all of the concept art. Yeah, like those are beautiful. That's actual concept art. That's what they make to make their shots, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that is a really important thing to keep around and keep artists employed. I thought AI was going to make better porn.
So did I.
Well,
so far,
I'm actually all for that, as long as it's not like
actual people
stealing people's identity. Like, you can make up a new person, that's fine. Miku is a good example of that.
Yeah, I've never really been into the animated stuff myself.
Me neither, but I'm just saying that's a good example. You know,
it is.
But like, I don't want to see people's likeness get stolen unless they sign off on it. Did I hear about Papa George Lucas wanting to come back? I've heard rumors about this, and here's what I'm going to say. I don't want that to happen for like a lot of reasons. I know George Lucas created all of this shit, but George Lucas is the one that has made the worst decisions around Star Wars. I mean, I'm an OG trilogy person, and I've come to appreciate the prequels a lot more, but all of the bad things about the prequels, to me, that still stand are his directing. I think if he comes back, maybe a story consultant or something like that, which I think he's already been doing a little bit. I know he's basically been on the set of most of the shows, or the movies at least, and I think some of the shows. But yeah, I don't know. I as much as I appreciate George for the things he's given us, I think his time has come to, like, he sold it for a reason. I think he should keep away from it. And the other part of that too, I could talk about this forever, and Pat's probably sick of hearing about it because Pat doesn't care about Star Wars as much as I do. But the other, well, before I get into the whole Lucasfilm side of things, it's not Disney that's making these bad decisions. It's Lucasfilm. Disney's just giving them money. Lucasfilm's making the bad decisions. And if you don't like Kathleen Kennedy, because I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like that don't like her, I think you need to understand that George Lucas single-handedly picked her to run Lucasfilm, and that's the other thing. I don't know. I don't care about George Lucas coming back. Star Wars is big here. When you make something, the minute that you put it out, it's not yours anymore. And that sounds weird because everybody's got like ownership over Star Wars at this point. But that's what I'm saying is we all feel some sort of ownership over how we feel Star Wars should be. So that means it's not George Lucas's anymore. And it wasn't the second it came out in 1977. And I look, I don't think Disney's made a lot of great decisions around what Star Wars has done. But I think they're finding a little bit of ground, and I mean, the second that Disney bought Lucasfilm, you knew they were going to make Star Wars for the rest of our lives, and if they're going to make that much content, not everything's going to be good. Do you have any thoughts or opinion about this? I know
it'll probably. You said that we'll have Star Wars for the rest of our lives, but probably even beyond that.
Oh, I mean,
think Star Wars is here to stay.
For sure, absolutely.
Long after George is dead and everybody else, know, all the original it's going to keep going. I think that the universe that George created is so vast, and there's so many, as you've said before, there's so many stories to tell.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to keep getting more and more material set in that galaxy, and that's just it.
I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I'm sorry. I would love. I need to try to get the whole Zoom thing set up again. I'd love to have the conversation. And I know everybody. I mean, Derpy, who comes in here sometimes too, he disagrees with me on this as well. I know he's a prequel. He grew up on the prequels and whatnot. And every generation of Star Wars has different things to say about Star Wars. You know, like I said, I grew up with the OG trilogy, and I became partial to those, and then I had issues with the prequels. But then there was kids younger than me that were like, the prequels are the best. There's still people that love the prequels more. And I think there's more context to all of those things these days with the Clone Wars and everything and whatnot. But George Lucas coming back, I think I guess it really it depends on the capacity on how he comes back. If it is more story consultant, I'm not really that opposed to that. But if we're talking directing, George Lucas is a garbage director. I'm sorry. He didn't direct Empire. A lot of people attribute Empire to him. That wasn't him. He might have kind of co-directed Return of the Jedi, which is my favorite movie. But I think that's one of the things that worked well for me about that, is that he didn't direct all of it. He directed some of it. You know, he has weak points as a director. And I think those weak points are dialogue and actual character. And the prequels were that. It was garbage. The dialogue was garbage. I was just watching a clip of Mark Hamill from 1978 talking about, George, what the fuck are you making me read?
I think that there's a famous Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford's said in interviews before that there was some line that George made him read where he's like, nobody's gonna respond to this.
Yeah.
This isn't how people talk.
Star Wars, the great things about Star Wars that most of us think about was done by committee, not just George Lucas. And then during the prequels, it was just George Lucas making all of the decisions. And I don't like that. I don't think that, and with George Lucas particularly, it's annoying because the other part of it too is I grew up watching the original cut of the original Star Wars. And then when I was I don't know, fucking in my late elementary school, I don't remember what year, they re-released them with the new cuts. And I was like, why are they doing this? I was confused about this. And it's one of those things where George cannot let things go so much that he's still trying to not him specifically, but when Disney put the new cuts out on Disney Plus, there was one final thing that George had added, which was when Han and Greedo shoot each other, Greedo says McClunky or something stupid like that, and it's dude, this movie is fucking 40 years old and you're still tinkering with it. Just let it go, please. Sorry, I do have strong feelings about George Lucas coming back. I don't hate the man. I love him. He gave us Star Wars, but I think people overlook his flaws as a director sometimes. Maybe he's gotten better at certain things, and if he was directing, I would hope that he co-directs with or works with somebody. If he's directing, I hope Jon Favreau's there, because Jon Favreau knows how to direct people a lot better than George Lucas does. And I mean, the whole reason that Star Wars worked famously was the original cut of the movie was disastrous, and his ex-wife saved it in the edit.
You've mentioned before that George, you've mentioned before that. What was I? Sorry, let me think about where I'm going with this. Yeah, so in the past, you've mentioned that you don't think that George. Yeah. You mentioned in the past that you don't think that George can direct dialogue at all.
I don't think he's very good at it.
But I
don't think he can write it, and I think he's just as equally as not great with directing it.
I like Commander Chris's comment right here. I say McClunky. Oh, McClunky!
I didn't see that because I was watching the YouTube chat.
That's too funny.
That's funny.
But yeah, I would argue also that just some of his concepts are out there. Like, I know that you've said before you didn't think that there needed to be a backstory behind the Force with like the midichlorians.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Is I like here's two things that kind of contradict themselves about Star Wars. He wants to keep some mysticism, and so when he ran Star Wars, he was like, I don't want anybody to dive into Yoda's species. It's a complete mystery. We don't know much about them. I never really want to explain it. But then you have the most mystical thing in all of Star Wars, the Force. And he's like, oh yeah, it's like nanobots in your blood.
Yes. Not only
I didn't need that explanation at all. And yeah.
How do you feel about the virgin birth of Anakin? That's like something that's almost glossed over.
No,
though.
Not really. They've so there is some canon stuff where they have talked about how Palpatine was probably involved in that. And so Palpatine might yeah, totally. There's totally some thin things that
I'd like some more explanation of that.
But that's the thing with science fiction and fantasy is that like there are certain levels of suspense that what am I trying
Suspension of disbelief.
Suspension of disbelief that we have with various things. So like everybody's different with that too. Like I can gloss over some of these weird things that like, oh, well, they were written this way because George didn't foresee telling this story like 20 years later or something like that. And so he wrote himself into a corner here and we're just going to forget about it for now. But sorry, we went on a total Star Wars tangent. And you probably fucking hate me now.
I think people know, if there are repeat viewers of this show, they know what to expect.
I mean, I love Star Wars. I just don't think that George Lucas needs to keep telling these stories. I think Star Wars is bigger than him. And there's so many great directors out there and so many great stories to be told within the universe, which is why I'm happy they're starting to expand outside of the Skywalker time frame. Finally, I think that's I hate that. I hate that I can't rebuttal. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of room for George designed Star Wars this way. He started off by telling a story in the middle of a book. Like, I've heard him talk about like when you start A New Hope, like all of these things have already happened. Like the whole Clone Wars thing has happened, and then he wrote around that. He started it in the middle, and then kind of built out. And that's, I think, one of the positive things about Star Wars is that there are so many time frames. And also, I think the other thing about it too is the whole, especially now with the Heir to the Empire stuff becoming more popular these days. Like, it's a lot of the stuff that was popular in the 90s that saved Star Wars were the books, like the Thrawn books, and that wasn't written by George. That was Timothy Zahn, and I guess that's what I'm saying is there's room for great storytelling, and you're gonna burn my house down for for hearing this. I'm still a little conflicted about The Last Jedi. I don't love the movie. I think there's some really great things in that movie. But I still think that Rian Johnson, I'm not. I know it's kind of off the table, and I don't really care one way or another. But I do think Rian Johnson is a good person to run a story that's not something that's already in the middle of something. I think The Last Jedi is less Rian Johnson's fault than it is Lucasfilm's, and not having a plan. But I do think that I hate a lot of people don't. My least favorite is Rise of Skywalker. That movie is atrocious. That movie is atrocious. I kind of liked 7. It was okay. I didn't mind the retreading on familiar territory. It was just the middle and the landing. They didn't stick any of that really. But I do think Rian Johnson as a creator is capable of writing his own trilogy or whatever. Pat is totally zoned out because
I'm listening. No, I'm listening to everything that's going on. Yeah, I completely agree. Rian Johnson is a very stylistic director that could have taken Star Wars, some more Star Wars stories into another direction instead of just going with the same familiar characters. But he did. I do think that he brought something new to the table.
I do too, and I would like to see him try that in a different time frame outside of having to be locked into the Skywalker story or whatever.
I know people hated that scene. We've talked about it before, but that the scene with Carrie Fisher.
Oh yeah. That one.
You're gonna have Leia.
That one could have been handled a lot better, I think, too.
I did kind of like what's her name's character though too, Laura Dern's character.
Yeah, and then they just blew her ass up.
Yeah.
She did go out like a boss though. That was pretty badass.
Yeah.
I will say that was a cool scene. I know people complained in the theater because the audio cuts out when that happens. I thought that was cool. I was like, oh, this is cool.
They finally actually respect the silence of space.
Yeah.
Where that's never been a thing before in Star Wars.
But you know what? Here's the other great thing is there's a lot of good stuff being made right now. And we can disagree about Star Wars and stuff like that. There's so much of it to consume, and I like having the conversations with people about it, honestly. If I get back to doing more of a full-time thing, maybe I'll do a Star Wars day or something like that, and you and I can talk about Star Wars stuff, Chris. I know it's 7 already. I kind of want to just keep going for a little bit. Are you down?
As long as you want to go, let's do it.
So I kind of wanted. I think out loud a lot of times. Pat knows this. You listen to me talk about shit that I don't do sometimes. One of the things, I'm at a place right now with live streaming where I'm not sure. I either want to keep it very chill, once a week for the time being, or just chill out on it altogether for a little bit, or rejuvenate my my interest in doing it. And I have a couple of ideas. And one of the things I need to do is get the Zoom call set up. I still never got that working.
Yeah.
Maybe I can figure it out this time. And if I can do that, Chris, maybe there's an opportunity.
I like his comment right here.
Talk Star Wars.
Pat looks like he's seeing the woman he loves getting plowed. to be fair, that is just my usual look.
That's how he looks every time I start talking about Star Wars or Marvel most of the time. He's like, what? Sister kisser. Be patient. Be patient with me, please. I've got a lot going on, but this one huge technical thing that I need, this technical hump I need to overcome.
I thought we had it really close.
We did, and then I gave up, and then bought the Rodecaster and was like, we'll just do phone calls, but I don't want to give my phone number out.
I do remember that at one point you had your laptop in another room or something.
And we got it working one time. I think we got it working in my house, but I couldn't get it working with Ryan. Because we were trying, I was originally going to do, I can say this. Ryan and I were talking earlier, and he was a little uncomfortable with doing on-camera stuff. Totally understandable. I know a lot of people are. And so that was one of the reasons why I just kind of gave up on the Zoom thing. He's like, I don't really want to do that. But we did the 90s nostalgia series that we did a handful of months ago. Yeah, those were all audio. And I guess Ryan did another podcast recently, and he was on it. And he was like, I'm feeling like we should do some more stuff. So there's ideas, opportunities, and some things going on regarding what I want to do with the channel. I'm at this place where I'm doing a lot of stuff. But I need to get have some more income.
Yeah.
And that might mean getting a full-time job or something. I don't know what it means yet.
Amen, brother.
And so I do have to prioritize survival, credit card bills,
as we all
gas, weed gummies,
Lunchables, as we all do,
concert tickets,
condoms.
We could do a call. Let's talk about that on the back end on either like an email or Instagram or something like that. I'm not opposed to that at all. But
I've consumed quite a bit of liquid here. I think I might need to step away for a minute.
Damn.
Two waters.
Pat the camel.
Yeah. Camel, Joe Cool.
Well, go pee if you need to go pee. I'll vamp for a while.
I may just step away here for
hold
a minute.
on. I got an idea.
I could just use the same bottle that I drank from.
Piss in the bottle. I'll do a little serenading.
All right. Nice. Well, I'm sad I'm going to miss it.
Yeah, the second you come back in, it's over. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I'm going to pull
Sounding nice.
Pat's mic over.
Full stereo.
Here. Ooh, actually, better idea. That mic is so far away. Ooh. Chris has got a New York accent, and he's gonna cuss me out for not liking George Lucas coming back. I'm like a Morgan Wallen meets a Bob Dylan. I haven't been playing much guitar because I've been trying to save Hyrule. So I'm a little rusty. Oh, what was that one song I was playing? I was playing recently. I don't remember how to do music. What do you think I am? Some sort of musician or something? Weirdos. Play Death Grips, okay. Yeah! Guilty! Yeah! Did you hear my Death Grips cover?
I did.
Yeah! All right, Pat's back. No more guitar. I don't remember how to play anything anyways. Because, again, I've been saving Hyrule for the last week and a week or so.
That is a valid reason. If you're going to save the kingdom.
Save the kingdom, save the cheerleader. Well, yeah. Well, again, we'll talk about doing a Star Wars episode or something. That'd be fun. I'm kind of open to toying around with some ideas on this channel. Pat should have returned.
That would have scared me.
Oh, dude. Down here on the side. You know
Oh,
what's down there. Yeah. You can get at it. Speaking of blackface. Here, I think
he saw him last time.
We'll just pick a new one this time. Here, I'm gonna tighten up the shot so you're out of frame and you can see my face super close up. Do I got any bugs? Got any bats in the cave? Let's
see what we got here.
No? Okay.
What do we have?
Good. Some nose goblins.
Jeez.
Yes. All right. We got a special guest on the show today. All the way from Texas. We got Mr. Ted Cruz.
Senator. That's a Senator Ted Cruz.
No,
to you.
Mr. Ted Cruz.
I'm a senator.
I don't like to give you a title after you pussed out and went to Cancun.
I'm a senator.
You're a senator.
I am the Senate.
So, what's scarier, this or blackface?
Gotta look directly at the camera.
Here, turn.
I'm here
there you
to
go.
I'm here to talk to all my fellow Americans.
It looks like he left.
Not surprised.
The sex appeal keeps increasing.
Saying I'm handsome? Well, thank you.
I'm Blue Ball City over here.
Ted Theodore Cruz.
So, Mr. Cruz, I want to ask you a couple questions.
Go ahead and shoot.
What's it like being the Zodiac Killer?
That is a rumor and a lie, and I do not appreciate it.
I saw the movie. You were in it. That was you.
I was hanging out with Jake Gyllenhaal, but that wasn't me.
That was you. I saw it. We all saw it.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, we did. And we all know because you left evidence all over your hotel room in Cancun.
Yeah, well...
And by evidence, I mean you sprayed cum everywhere.
Well, man's got to do what he's got to do.
That was the most insane. Did you ever see, was it Scary Movie? The beginning, was it Scary Movie? The beginning of that, she's like having sex. And like she gets like sprayed to the ceiling.
Was that movie that was made by them African-American fellas?
Yeah. Those guys.
Yeah, I may have seen that. I was a big fan of the Carmen Electra back in the day.
So, are you friends with Elon Musk?
Well, we let him operate in the state. I've talked to him a few times. He seems like a fine young man.
Fine young cannibal. Well, that was fun. Talk to you later.
All right, well... just remember to vote red.
No. I only vote mother of pearl. I only vote green, baby. Marianne Williamson. I'm kidding. I don't actually really know much about her. I should look into that. I haven't really been paying much attention because it's basically not going to be anybody else but Biden and Trump. So,
oh man,
we're getting back. Dude, you missed Ted Cruz. He was here for a minute.
Yeah, he does that. He stops in every once in a while.
I was asking what it was like to be the Zodiac Killer. Still denies it. What a piece of shit. We know.
You should just admit it already.
We know he did it because somebody posted it on their Instagram back in 1967 or whatever fucking year that was.
Yeah.
They posted it back in 1967.
Oh, look at this line on in between my
your glasses.
It's from my glasses with the headphones on. It just presses them right up against my face.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of comfortable though, because they sometimes are a little loose, and that keeps them Keeps them all nice and tight.
Game over.
Yeah, a game over for Ted Cruz and his Lion Ted.
Lion Ted.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can, but you have to get other people on board with voting that homeless person in as well.
I would like to vote in my dog Millie.
Yeah,
she's just so sweet. She would solve world peace. She'd be at the G7. Is it the G7? Is that what, or the G8? Whatever G's they got. I know
10 G's.
Yeah, 10 GGs. She would just sit there looking all cute, and everybody'd be like, "Oh, damn it, fine."
Yeah.
Russia would be like, "You know what, Millie? You're right. We'll stop this." Ukraine, they just go over and give Putin a hug. They all just like cuddle.
Speaking of that, I was telling you before the show started about how I was watching that video about the Russian shopping mall.
Yeah.
And how all of the a lot of the stores had to pull out. So like they have hilarious names now where like it'll be KFC, but it'll just be called like Chicken Express or something like that. But it'll just straight up be still KFC. And I'm sure KFC still gets the profits. They just don't publicly acknowledge that they operated Russia or whatever it may be.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's so dumb.
McDonald's is probably, I mean, all of
McDonald's
the big,
actually did close, at least at this mall that I saw.
But also McDonald's owns like so many other franchises and shit that they're probably not getting direct. Yeah, dude, they're the majority. I think they're still the majority stakeholder in Chipotle. And like a bunch of other
I can see maybe Subway
too.
also.
I'm not saying there's Chipotle in Russia.
There was the Subway at this one too. Oh, one of the funnier ones was Baskin Robbins. It was just called BR Ice.
Nice.
It's BR Ice.
So Chris is asking, what random historical person would you want to be president? That's an interesting question.
That's a tough question.
That is a tough question because I think like the economic or like the time frame is important to understand.
Do you have to? Does it have to be is it president now or is it president of the time? President now.
Yeah. Okay. If it's president now, let's say it's president now.
It's like Robin Hood.
It would be even weirder because like those historical people wouldn't understand the context of our time.
A real person.
If that's what the confines of this question are. Like take somebody out of history,
yes.
like Bill and Ted.
Yes.
And you put them in a modern time.
Like Napoleon or something.
Yeah, and you made him president today. Now, okay.
Yeah. I like this.
This is an interesting question. Let's I mean, I know who I wanted to be president, but he's not going to be president. And that was somebody that was already running for president recently, so I'll just leave him out of the conversation. But Mr. Ted Cruz, by the
way. Julius Caesar.
Julius Caesar.
Yeah, president. He had his chance. I'm gonna say. Let me think of a good one here.
Yeah, you put me on the historical spot here.
This is a tough one.
I gotta think.
I mean, Jesus obviously would be a fantastic president.
I think now I gotta think of everybody through the history of time. So there's that one carpenter dude. Then there was a guy that made pottery. There's a couple of basket weavers.
And there was the guy that founded Pottery Barn.
And then there was a bunch of people that made pyramids. And then there was a couple of people that like became French. Something like that. There's like 5 people, and all of a sudden they're like, "We're French now."
It's hard to think of like just people from history that you would want to be president because if they're known, if they're historically known, it's usually for a reason. And it's like, why would I want
Billy the Kid?
Yeah, exactly. Why would I want Doc Holliday?
Yeah. Didn't he die from like
tuberculosis?
Yeah. Oh, was it? Yeah, it was tuberculosis. For a second I was going to say syphilis.
I think Caesar. Well, yeah. He didn't die from that. Obviously, he was.
But everybody back then had syphilis.
Yeah, everybody. Especially
if you're over the age of like
Rome.
6, you had syphilis probably. And
let's hope not.
And even under the age of 6.
We know what they like to do. Get syphilis. That's what they like to do.
My favorite thing to do back in the Middle Ages was, just get the Black Plague.
Yes.
The plague. I think it's just the plague.
I think we'd have to put William Wallace in the nomination category, but not regular William Wallace. I want to see Mel Gibson as William Wallace from Braveheart.
Okay. So there's definitely going to be some like anti-Semitic slurs at the presidential speech.
Yeah, but it's nothing new.
Because he's going to be like hammered drunk. He's like, I want president. Foster's, it's Canadian for beer.
I think people probably would say like it was Martin Luther King or something would be like a good choice.
My honest answer. Here's my honest answer. Nobody, because I hate everybody. I don't want anybody running presidents. I don't want anybody to be the president. I want this to be run by committee. The Illuminati should be running our government. I mean, they might already be, but I think they're also running other governments as well. But I really want them to focus on this one. You know, really get in there. You know, stonemasons.
Yeah.
Build us some fucking pyramids or some shit.
That's what we want.
I saw some article earlier saying that New York City is apparently sinking from the weight of skyscrapers.
I saw that as well, yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, let's clear them all out and just build a bunch of pyramids. Or floating cities.
As if they wouldn't just weigh it down, too.
Yeah. Rock. Just pure rock.
No,
I want to rock.
They're gonna rebuild it out of t-shirts, recycled t-shirts.
Actually, recycled tires. It's a little bit more solid.
Garbage Island.
Because I'm the bird queen of Garbage Island. That's a great song. I love that song. The Burning Hill. If you haven't heard The Burning Hill, Bird Queen of Garbage Island, it's a great song.
It's kind of like I Love the Dogs.
I love the dogs. Dun, dun,
I haven't seen that whole movie.
Wait, what? Isle of Dogs?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. That's one of my favorite Wes Anderson movies. As Jersey and New York isn't sinking fast enough. All the fucking rats. New Jersey Morales.
Yeah.
I've been to New York one time for like a couple of days.
I've also only been to New York once.
Back in 2004. Never been to Jersey. You know, as much as people talk shit about Jersey, I've heard there's some cool things to do there. Oh, what was that? What was that one theme park? Chris, you'd probly know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, the Adventure Park.
Yeah, the one that closed down because it was too dangerous that they did the documentary on HBO.
Yeah, what was that one called?
When Max first came out.
What was it, like Law? It was like
I can't remember the name of the documentary, but that shit looked crazy.
Class Action Park.
Yeah,
That's
Class Action. Yeah, Class Action Park.
It's probably a little bit before his time, but yeah,
maybe, I don't know.
That shit looked pretty funny. I do remember the one time I went to this, like, it was a radio promotion thing. The local radio station in El Paso was holding this like promotion where they had the water park open. It was like closed, but it was open for the private party. And my friend's dad owned a bunch of restaurants in El Paso, so he got invited, and I was able to go along with them, with their family. And dude, it was crazy. It was a water park with no lifeguards on duty. It was incredible. And also, you know, you didn't really have to wait in line or anything, so we just didn't give a shit. I was like 10 at the time, and we would go down the slides that you like are supposed to have a raft, no raft. Go down backwards or something with like one person when you're supposed to have four. I remember like we you know those the rafts that have like the 2-person thing. Well, I went down with like one person, and then like somebody was like hanging on the back or something. I remember it going up in the air like that. And there was one slide that like kind of like went around the around like a lot of the park, and I swear I got stuck up there. It was like 40 feet up in the slide.
Chris says he knows that place.
Yeah.
Did you ever go there? Did you ever get fucked up? I remember seeing the slide that they put the loop at the bottom of it, so it's like almost a like vertical decline straight into a loop, and people would like fuck themselves up.
Oh, I bet
that was the one where I remember they were saying the owner was like paying people under the table to test it, and people were like knocking their teeth out on the loop, and so they put padding on the inside of it, and then people were coming out, but they're still breaking their tooths. And then somebody started coming out and they had cuts all over them. They're like, what the fuck? And they looked at the foam and there was just teeth getting stuck into the foam.
Oh
and
my God.
people knocking their teeth out and shit.
That's awful.
Nobody knows somebody that did it. Yeah, I don't know if you watched that documentary. I'm sure you've heard plenty of stories, but that documentary was pretty good. And for somebody from that's never been in New Jersey, that was a really, really captivating documentary. Yeah, Class Action Park is what it was called.
That's actually pretty cool, though.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've never surfed at all.
I went surfing one time, but it was a shitty. So we live in Southern California, and we have access to the beach. And growing up, I did junior lifeguards, and I only went surfing once, but I did a bunch of other like beach activities. I used to bodyboard a lot. That was one thing that I did. Surfing, I don't know, just didn't really appeal. It was like how like we chose rollerblading over skateboarding. It was kind of like that, where I was like, I feel like this is a little cooler for me than.
I remember also just body surfing, where you like swim with the wave.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's actually super fun.
That park is a perfect representation of New Jersey.
Yeah, nice.
Where is all of the Kevin Smith stuff? Like the Stash, I think, is his comic shop. It's in Jersey, I think. I don't remember.
Chris might know.
Yeah, I'd hit up something like that. Not that like that would be like the touristy thing I would do if I was going to Jersey. Hit up like the Stash, or I think he's got some other stuff there. He might own like a movie theater. I don't remember. North of Jersey. Yeah, I should hit that shit up sometime.
I've read that one of the most population dense areas, I think it's Jersey City, which is just like right across the river from Manhattan, I believe. And yeah, just a shitload of people live there because they work in the city.
Yeah, I imagine. Well, I think there's other things I could talk about.
I'm getting a little hungry. To be fair,
I'm starting to lose steam, but I think real quick before we go, since I did make the thumbnail about Zelda,
can
I talk about Zelda for just a minute?
Please go ahead.
All right, Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom is probably the worst game I've ever played in my entire life, and I'm done. I'm done with this. Nintendo, I'm sick and tired of your shit. And I will never buy a product from you ever again. I'm just kidding. That was a fucking lie. This game's awesome. For me, it's elevated Breath of the Wild, and that was a feat.
They've improved on Breath of the Wild.
Nintendo to accomplish, yeah. Because I mean, I've played Breath of the Wild a bunch of times, and it's just such a fun game, and the things you can do, and it was really hard for me to see like what they could do to really progress the mechanics. And I mean, look, there is some of the same, but even some of the same is different. Like things have changed narratively, and there's a bigger map, a much bigger map, almost 3 times the size of the original map. It's quite awesome, and the mechanics of the game are. I'm still just doing like kind of basic stuff with it, like, oh, here's a little like glider, or whatever. People are doing some crazy shit with them, like they're making these giant mechs and like doing gnarly stuff, and it's fun to watch. And for me, I think I need to like get through maybe play the story through a little bit more, and like kind of just feel the game out a little bit more. It's not like I don't know what I'm getting into with it, but I think it might be my like second playthrough before I start getting real weird with it. You know what I mean?
You gotta get real weird with it.
Yeah, get super weird with it.
Yeah,
but
the duct tape, zip ties, and gloves. I have to have my tools.
Are those the types of things that you combine in Zelda?
My tools?
Yeah.
Yeah, I combined a lot of tools. The fuse function's really cool. it was kind of, a lot of people complained about the weapon durability from the first game. And that was basically their response to the weapons durability, because everything would break all the time. Is you can fuse things together and strengthen your stuff. So even if you're like, let's say you have a sword and you're hitting somebody with it and it starts to like flash red like it's going to break, you can fuse it with something and it extends the life of the weapon.
Yeah, that's rad.
And whatever you like fuse it with ups the hit value of the weapon as well too. Or can offer like a cool.
It's like Chris is saying right here. So you saw someone make a penis boat.
I've seen some penis stuff.
Yeah,
I've seen some penis shaped things in Breath of the Wild. Somebody made a dick out of a bunch of tree logs
in Breath of the Wild,
or sorry, Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah. Somebody made a dick out of. It might have been me. No. Somebody made a penis with a bunch of tree logs, like a giant penis. It was great. I saw that. Yeah, this game is new and things are like, there's already really funny YouTube videos out there, but just over the next like 3 years, there's going to be some fucking hilarious shit.
And also incredible stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. The point of this game is the journey. It's not the destination. I do know a little bit about the storyline. I'm not going to spoil anything. And I do feel that the story has for people who didn't think the story was that strong in the first game, I agree. I didn't really need it to be. The story is a bit stronger here, but it's still it's not about it's the journey, not the destination with this game. It's about using these mechanics to build stupid boats or rocket launchers or whatever to accomplish this, that, or the other. Getting a treasure chest or just destroying moblins or whatever.
You need to use your tools.
I need to use my tools. Feel free, man. I see you wanting to. I see you itching for it.
I was just looking at what you got available. But anyway, dude.
Well, if you want to get into it a little bit.
Get a little hungry.
All right. Well, I got to go feed my pet.
I'm like a Tamagotchi.
Yeah, Chris, hit me up on Instagram or however we've talked. I think Instagram's been the best way. We'll talk about trying to set something up to do like some Star Wars conversation or something like that. And hit up Pat about what kind of music you want, because I know he's itching to do some stuff. I know he's got some stuff too, so maybe he's got some stuff that'll work for you. Maybe he's got a package of things for you. Maybe he's got a FedEx package. I don't know where I'm going with this.
It's a bomb.
No, I'm not.
Well, I said it.
It's
wilddinosaur.com.
It's there. It's wilddinosaur.com. Don't forget to check out all of that.
Get your sticker.
Stuff.
Get your packages from, and you do ship via FedEx. I think so.
I don't remember. I've gotten stuff through DHL. Before.
So I mean, who uses DHL? This guy.
Well, I think the printer uses whoever.
We'll use. You order from wilddinosaur.com. John will personally deliver your goods.
Naked. I'll show up at your front door naked.
Or your place of work.
With my dick in a box.
Your place of work.
Yeah, I'll show up outside of wherever you work.
It's just like in a Michael Myers mask, just knocking like on the window or something.
Pat's going to be in a gimp suit. Yes.
That's how we're going to deliver your wilddinosaur.com goods.
Pat actually has a couple of gimp suits. He's got them color coordinated. So there's like a black one, there's a white one, there's a teal one.
Honestly, one day we should just be chilling in the spacesuits.
That's a good idea. See, when we have ideas like this, I get excited about doing more live streams.
Yeah.
So
we definitely should. But it is going to be hot here soon.
That's fine. I got a fan. And an AC.
No, I'm looking to sweat.
And we can
those suits are basically just like personal saunas.
And we can stick ice down our whole suits. You told me, but John naked. This is just a precursor to getting everybody signed up for my OnlyFans. I'm teasing you all with the idea of me like
You should
doing
just
the delivery driver
test
thing.
waters.
Test waters.
I mean, I think you could have some success. I think I read somewhere though that like out of every 1,000 people on OnlyFans, like just like Twitch, like,
yeah,
you're gonna have.
You have to do it like full time.
Yeah.
And I would rather. That was another idea. We should go soon. The battery's about to die. But I have thought about potentially doing like more full time streaming on Twitch and then doing YouTube for clip outs or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I need some help.
Need a manager.
I need a manager. I need a therapist.
Manager/therapist. Get yourself 2-for-1 deal.
Sorry, when you say Naked John hit gold twice, do you mean I hit the G spot twice? Because that's probably more accurate.
What do you think G stands for? Gold.
Yeah, and I hit it twice because I got 2 dicks.
Nobody's really heard that nickname yet. The Johnny Two Dicks.
I got. I'm like Tails from Sonic. I'm like that, but on the front. I helicopter 2 dicks, and I float around that way.
Primary source of travel.
Yeah, that's how I save money on gas. But I spend a lot of money on beans because I gotta propel myself somehow. All right, where was I going with stuff? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Don't forget to check out wilddinosaur.com. Well, that's not what I'm looking for. Come on, get your shit together. Okay, there we go. Yeah, don't forget to hit up wilddinosaur.com. It's the best place to support the channel. Follow me on Instagram at wilddinosaur. Chris, hit us both up on our individual.
And most importantly,
messaging.
Have a nice weekend.
Well, and also don't forget there's a link in the description if you care. I think Planned Parenthood is pretty awesome. Consider donating to them. Because yeah, they're awesome. Anyways, I'll be back next Friday. Pat should probably be back next Friday because he brought up the spacesuit thing. So if you're not here, then you failed both of us and the whole audience. All of YouTube, basically. So millions and millions of people. The potential is there, Pat. You've ruined their lives.
The potential's there.
You've ruined their lives. All right. We'll see you next week, and maybe we'll have some better things to jabber about. Jibber jabber.
John, I will see you next Tuesday.